The door slammed behind him. "Another one gone," muttered General Hawkins, standing stiff in his military uniform, arms crossed. His 4 children peeked from behind the banister like mischievous gremlins, mud-streaked, wild-haired, and grinning like they'd won a battle. It was the 7th nanny that month, but just as the general picked up the phone to call the agency, a knock came at the door. A man stood there, not a woman in uniform, not a middle-aged professional with the R8-copyright sub-8-copyright in hand. Number. This was a young, soft-eyed man in jeans, holding the hand of a little girl. "Name's Daniel," he said. "You called for help with your kids?" Chapter 1. The Chaos House. Daniel Price wasn't what the agency promised. He wasn't a career nanny. He wasn't even certified. Just a single dad trying to pay the bills after his wife passed 3 years ago. He worked odd jobs like cleaning, babysitting, dog walking or whatever would get him and his daughter, Ellie, through the month. He wasn't intimidated by screaming kids or toy grenades flying through the living room, because he had seen worse. Because grief had already turned his world upside down. Nothing a child could throw at him could top that. The general, rigid and skeptical, eyed him. "You realize this is not a daycare?" "These are my kids." Daniel smiled gently. "And I'm not a daycare, I'm a dad." With that, he stepped on Sadia and the battle began. Chapter 2. The 4 Tornadoes. There was Ethan, the 11-year-old with a talent for hacking the home security system. Tess, 9, who had a pet frog named Missiles and an addiction to duct taping things including her siblings. Liam, age 6, who believed pants were optional. And baby Rose, a 2-year-old who screamed like a fire truck when she didn't get cereal with rainbow marshmallows. Every maid, nanny, and au pair had quit by lunch. But Daniel, he knelt to their level, made eye contact, and said one sentence that silenced the entire room. "Wanna hear a secret? I used to be a kid like you, and I know all your tricks." They tested him, of course, dumped glitter in the sink, fed peanut butter to the Wi-Fi router, hid in the laundry chute. Daniel laughed, cleaned, disciplined gently, and never once raised his voice. Instead of punishment, he gave responsibility. He made Ethan commander of operations and gave him a clipboard. Tess became chief of creature care. Liam was crowned pants officer and, for the first time in a year, wore trousers willingly. Even Rose, with her cereal demands, became the snack captain, proudly choosing meals from a picture chart Daniel made. Unexpected turn. By the end of day 1, the house was clean, the kids were bathed, and dinner was on the table. The general walked in from his office, expecting to hear screams. Instead, he found his 4 children sitting calmly eating vegetables. He narrowed his eyes. "What kind of sorcery is this?" Danielle smiled. "Not sorcery, just listening." Later that night, the general stood by the kitchen sink, quiet. "You're a widower, right?" he finally asked. Daniel nodded. "I served 3 tours overseas," Hawkins said, voice low. "But losing my wife, that was the war one wasn't trained for." Daniel didn't say anything, just nodded again. A quiet understanding passed between them. Sometimes, pain makes better fathers out of broken men. Emotional climax. A week passed, then 2. The kids were thriving, laughing more, fighting less, and the general? He started coming home earlier, even joined in during evening story time. One night, Tess crawled onto Daniel's lap and whispered, "Can you stay forever?" That same night, Elia, Daniel's own daughter, turned to him and asked, "Daddy, can we stay here?" It feels like a broken bar home. Daniel looked at her, then at the 4 children now tucked around him like he was some sort of gravity pulling their pieces together. He swallowed hard, ending a uplifting heartfelt. The next morning, Daniel packed up, assuming his job was done. He left a note on the counter. "Greater than thank you for trusting me with your kids. They reminded me what family feels like again." But just as he reached the front door with Ellie, the general stood there, blocking the way. He looked different. Not the stern military man, but the tired father, eyes soft and vulnerable. "You don't get to leave," he said. "I was just temporary," Daniel replied. But the general shook his head. Then, in a quiet voice that trembled slightly, he said, "My kids haven't smiled like this in years." "Neither have I. I don't want a nanny. I want you." Not as an employee, as family. Behind him, the kids were already running toward them, arms outstretched. Even Rose, even Ethan, even the house itself felt warmer. And that day, in a house once known for driving people away, a single dad found a home he never knew he needed, and a family that begged him to stay. Closing narration. A voice-over style. Sometimes, the strongest soldiers aren't those who fight wars a broken bar, but those who heal broken homes with quiet patience, soft words, and a father's love. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, because the world needs more kindness and maybe a few more single dads like Daniel.